provide a unique, challenging, and rigorous educational experience that prepares candidates for executive leadership roles within the context of a diverse, information-driven, and increasingly technological society. Our educational experience requires candidates to persevere through challenges such as learning APA, writing a literature review, revising and revising multiple drafts of their dissertation chapters, collaborating with each other on group projects and papers, expanding knowledge with each midterm and final, and actively engaging in class, whether in person or remote, every other weekend after an already long week of work. And today, I look at our fellow EdD graduates from cohort 14, and I must share how proud I am of how you embrace this educational experience with determination, collaboration, compassion, resilience, and most importantly, leadership. I want to be sure we take a moment to reflect on how you spent your time here as the world changed around us. A little over 2 years ago, you were starting Dexel 707, which is also affectionately known as the 30-page paper class. By the second weekend of class, we faced the arrival of COVID. It swooped in like a tidal wave, and we have never been the same. The nationwide stay-at-home orders forced our program to go remote after being in person for 15 years. We were all learning to use Zoom at the same time. I still remember our first class weekend and the joy of seeing your faces, even if in tiny boxes on the screen of my computer. Dr. Montez and I were learning how to teach research methods remotely, while you were figuring out how to learn research methods remotely. While at the same time, we were dealing with losses, challenges, and changes within our jobs and family. For example, some of you were helping your kids or grandkids make a seismic adjustment to online learning at the same time as you. The rules and policies in so much of our lives are changing by the hour at times. The constant pivoting of being remote, then being in person with masks and social distancing, then back to remote, and then required COVID-19 testing, and then required vaccination. And the whirlwind continues. Thanks very much. And yet, even with all these changes, you persisted with your educational goals, with your commitment to each other and to your family, and with your unbreakable spirit. Along your educational experience, there were additional events that impacted our world. We faced another crisis with the historical tragedy of George Floyd's murder, a reminder of the inequities and institutional racism in our society that permeate our organizations. Thankfully, we were able to witness a positive event with the election of Madam Vice President Kamala Harris, the first female vice president, the first African American vice president, and the first South Asian American vice president in United States history. What a glorious day that was for our nation. And yet, before we could catch our breath, the resurrection of January 6th occurred. This was when my 12-year-old son Ramsey asked, how many more historical events are we going to have to live through? And to be honest, cohort 14, you have lived through more than any other cohort in our program. And yet here you are, celebrating your achievement despite these challenges, along with other hardships that I may not even know about. In my mind, each of you are a portrait of resilience. The American Psychological Association defines resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, tragedy, threats, loss, or significant sources of stress. It means bouncing back from difficult and trying experiences. This definition has two components. First, it acknowledges that the reality of life contains its share of trouble. And secondly, life also contains hope. Resilience is about the capacity of the human spirit to adapt well. And the human spirit of cohort 14 is pretty impressive. For example, members of this cohort established the fabulous 14 Transformative Award as a way to recognize one or two graduating candidates who exhibit resiliency, tenacity, and personal and professional transformation during their EdD program experience, regardless of the obstacles they faced. As I previously shared, cohort 14 completed their doctoral degree during a global pandemic, social and political unrest, and experiencing their own personal and professional difficulties. Members of Cohort 14 recognize that individuals in future cohorts might face tough times during their journey in the program. Therefore, the Fabulous 14 Transformative Award recognizes individuals for their commitment to transformation and overcoming any obstacles that got in their way. Cohort 14 collected enough funds for this $200 award to be honored for the next 5 years. So even while the past few years brought significant stress to your already rigorous academic experience, you continue to bounce back and adapt to not only get you here today, but to ensure future resilient candidates are acknowledged as well. During your academic experience, each of you advocated for what you needed. You fought through painful moments, supported each other along the way, and even when you may have felt like it, you never gave up. And this cohort really embraced encouraging heart like no other cohort. So today, for the first time in our program, we are honoring your unique resilience with a special cord of honor. We are giving each graduate a light blue resiliency cord to recognize your human spirit and ability to bend without breaking. This program is hard enough without all the additional layers of hard added to your life. In the next few minutes, we will call upon each of you to stand and be acknowledged for your success, receiving the doctoral hood and your cord of resilience. But I hope you remember and hold on to beyond today